we are looking at ways to ensure that we have an Afrocentric international migration policy framework which encourages the interaction, person-to-person interaction, facilitates trade and commercial activity between South Africa and fellow African countries. Because, and that's why we have issued a 10-year multiple entry visa to African business people, a 10-year multiple entry visa to African academics, and a 3 to 5 year multiple entry visa for frequent travelers to South Africa. There is a program we're implementing in the SADC region. We started with at the border of Botswana and South Africa in Tsidilamlomo, where we already are piloting the Trusted Traveler program, where without necessarily requiring to submit a lot of documents, we record the fingerprints of the people living in those communities within a 100-kilometer radius of the community border crossing. We record their fingerprints so that when they travel, they only use their passports, and we take their fingerprints so they don't require any other documents in addition to that, except when they are traveling with children. We will be implementing this program with a number of our neighboring countries. We've agreed with the government of the Kingdom of Lesotho that the nationals of Lesotho, as soon as the kingdom, the government has established a proper database and they provide us access to that database, the nationals of Lesotho will be able to travel between South Africa and Lesotho without requiring their passports to be stamped, but by presenting the passport itself, which is a machine-readable passport. Once our computers are able to read that passport, then a person will be allowed travel. So most of the decisions that we had taken as cabinet have already been implemented. That includes introducing biometric capture at the airports, OR Tambo, King Shaka, Cape Town, as well as Lanseria, which has meant that we now have removed the requirement for transit visas, particularly for people who are going to our neighboring countries. The only one that has thus far not been implemented was the one with regard to unabridged birth certificates for children whose parents are from visa-exempt countries. So if you are from the United Kingdom, for example, where there is a visa exemption, the decision was that we would issue a strong advisory note to the parents of the children with regard to unabridged birth certificates and letters of consent, and then when they come to the country, it would be at the discretion of the immigration officers whether they ask for these documents or not. We take into consideration that we are still administering colonial borders, but and we would wish to see visa-free. We would wish to see free movement on the African continent. But we take into consideration that South Africa can't implement free movement on its own. We need fellow African countries to collaborate with us in ensuring we all minimize risk towards one another.